She was like, I know you, like, I know the type of person you are. You just want to like do something for other people, but you're not like, you need to push them more. You have to be like a little more demanding in what you need from them. And like stop kind of like sugarcoating it and being like, oh, get back to me when you get back to me. Be like, no, I need this on this day at
Mm.
this time.
Hey everyone, once again, welcome to another episode of the Campus Manager podcast series. As you guys know, I'm Santi. I run the Campus Manager operations team here at Fresh Prince, and today we are lucky to be joined by Raf from Villanova University, one of our campus managers over there. Welcome, Raf. Why don't you introduce yourself to the people out there?
Hi guys, I'm Raf. Thank you so much for having me. I'm a junior campus manager at Villanova, and I am a finance and marketing major. So that's a little bit about me. Yeah, and I'm excited
Yeah,
to share with you guys how my semester's been going.
tell us where you are originally from. Why did you choose Villanova, and how's your experience been
Yeah.
there thus far?
So I'm from North Jersey, which a lot of people from Villanova are. So it's a school I've heard of throughout high school, middle school. I went to Villanova primarily because of how good their business school is, and I knew I wanted to pursue business in high school. And I'm also fourth generation there, so I kind of
Wow.
was very like my parents and everything really wanted me to go there from when I was a kid because they had such an amazing time, and my whole family that's been there has had such an amazing time at Villanova and has had great relationships with them. And yeah, I love it. I can't imagine myself anywhere else. So
Yeah, let's just say you had a choice, but you didn't really have a
exactly.
choice. But glad that you've also found it yourself,
Mhm,
like home, and that you've been enjoying your experience there.
mhm,
You're a campus manager at Fresh Prince. You've been there for a little less than a year, so relatively new
mhm.
still. But we're here to talk about your semester to semester growth that you saw. Essentially, just for everyone out there, Raf was a first semester campus manager in the fall of 2025. And now in the spring of 2026, she is projected to hit an 850% growth in her sales numbers. And that is quite remarkable. I believe it's probably from a semester to semester growth as high as we have seen, especially from first to second. So we're here to talk about that today and kind of see what changed, what prompted this growth, and how you've been able to manage this enormous additional workload and sales and clients that you have right now. So before we get in there, how does it feel to have hit that number? Do you, are you still scratching yourself and be like, how did I do this, or do you have you have a clear idea of what what happened there?
I'm honestly still kind of shocked. I think even from January when we got back from winter break, I was kind of like, oh, I'm gonna see how we can do. Because last semester I did not hit my goal that Olivia had given me, my BDM. And this semester I was like, okay, we have a bit of a lower goal. It's okay. We're gonna at least try and hit this one. That was my goal. I just wanted to hit it. And then it was kind of a blur, honestly, how I got like all these live I had all these live stores open. I think I had 3 open at once and then they closed, and by the time they had closed, I had my goal for the spring done. And I was just like, "Oh, this is I don't know what this feels like. This is crazy." So, I'm still kind of wrapping my head around it myself, but I'm going to try and continue out the semester that way.
And so how quickly did you hit the sales goal that you set yourself for the spring 2026 into the spring?
I believe it was I think I just hit it at the beginning or mid like the second week of February, I think is when I hit it. So, pretty
Right.
early.
So 1.5 months
Yeah.
in like a 6 month goal that you have
Yeah.
set for yourself. Incredible. Incredible. Um, that's awesome. And we'll get into the spring semester and how, how does it feel? How you've been doing that. But take me back to the fall of 2025.
Yeah.
Um, it was your first full semester. You joined over the summer of 2025. If you now look back at the fall of 2025, what are some of the habits that you think were holding you back that you didn't realize at the time? Um, and if this is even a habit or a skill that you developed, it could be that as
Mhm.
well. Walk us through what do you think, in what position you were sitting in that fall of 2025.
I think I definitely relied a lot on Olivia, and kind of come now looking back, I kind of realized like she's there, your BDM is there to guide you. They're not there to like do your job for you. And I would text her a lot like with little like things that she would kind of help me like help guide me towards, which I'm thankful for now that she didn't just do it for me because now I know how to do it for myself. But like placing orders, like reaching out to clients, I definitely last semester was very scared to be pushy in a sense of even texting somebody being like, hey, can you let me know this by the end of next week to try and like stay on a schedule. I would be kind of just like waiting for them to respond to me instead of me following up with them consistently. So I think a skill that I've definitely gained is consistent follow-ups and, you know, reaching out to logistics and licensing and things like that when I need stuff from them instead of texting Olivia and being like, who am I supposed to reach out for this? And like having her tell me, I kind of have a good gauge now of who I should be reaching out to. So those habits, I think I've definitely kind of learned from and changed and altered to reach out to. Now I know who I need to reach out to, and I don't need to text Olivia all the time, and I know when to follow up with clients and how often and how to get the best response from them. So I think it was definitely a learning curve.
Yeah, for sure. And shout out to Olivia
Yeah.
for not really doing the job for
Mm-hmm.
you, right? Like guiding you in the right direction so you can get your own
Yeah.
practice. What do you think were some of the effects of that hesitation that you had? The fact that you were consulting with Olivia on almost everything that you were doing, what kind of tangible effects did that have on your ability to close deals with customers, on your ability to grow in your first semester?
I mean, it definitely lengthened the time it took for me to get back to people because it would be like a chain reaction of like them texting me and then me not knowing what I needed. So I would have to text Olivia, and obviously I'm not her only CM. She has like all these people that she's always meeting with, and then having to wait to hear back from her. And it was just kind of like I was the middleman, and that's like not really what my role should have been. So
Mhm.
definitely took a lot of time out and made it longer for me to get back to customers, which obviously is not ideal. Instead of me just like being like, oh, let me ask licensing, let me go look at help juice, let me go figure out what I can do, which I know now how to do that, and now I use those tools. But back then, definitely was taking a lot of time out of something that could have turned around much faster.
Absolutely. And what kind of prompted you to look at yourself and say, I can't keep operating like this? Was it more of a self-realization, or did Olivia give you, feedback that you needed to take more ownership over your decisions and not wait around for her direction?
Mm-hmm.
What prompted that
I
change?
think it was definitely just figuring out because I would ask her like a question or something, and most of the time I would get the same response from her like, oh, go look at help juice, go email this person. So I kind of just started to figure out for myself, okay, like Olivia is telling you the same things every time you're asking her, like this is kind of becoming a waste of time. Like I can go
Mm.
to help juice or go to email this person, and like hearing it so much from her kind of made me realize like, oh, I don't need to be the same thing over and over. I don't need to be keep texting her. I can just go look now for what I need.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you kind of had that realization, when was this? Walk me through. Was it like towards the end of the fall? Was it, October, November?
I would say definitely in the middle, maybe towards beginning of November of last semester, because I had one of my biggest clients, a sorority, had their live store open, and this was like the first big live store I had like to put up and figure out how to launch it and everything. So at that point, I was still texting Olivia for like, hey, how do I do this? What do I do for this? And I started to realize I was like, this is like literally taking days off of when the live store should be posted. Like this should have already been done, and it's kind of on me. So
Yeah.
figuring that out, it was kind of just like in that example. And there were just so many moving parts because there were a lot of items in the live store, and I was like, I'm not used to like knowing how to do this and how to check stock for this and like the quota and everything. It was a lot of new things. But once I got the first one down, I think that's when I was like, okay, like you don't need to be hitting Olivia up every 2 seconds to figure this out. You know what you're doing now.
Absolutely. And I love that, by the way. And I think there's an important lesson for everyone out there, if you're listening. And I think it's, the role itself is gratifying and you will find joy in it. But you will feel more accomplished and you will feel like you're running actually your own small businesses if you take more ownership over these decisions, right? And that you teach yourself these things that no matter if you hear it in training or if you get told how to do it many times, it really isn't going to sink in until you figure it out yourself and you do it in a way that that you yourself are finding the answers. correct? Has there been a different feeling around the things that you're accomplishing now, versus how it felt at the beginning?
1,000%. Like even over the summer, I was trying to get practice with like reaching out to customers. And instead of doing, I would reach out to towards the end to people that were at my school, but I tried to work with like corporate clients, and just not hearing back and things like that. I kind of like gave up a little bit. But now having like a relationship with the people that I work with, like my clients and the apparel chairs and things like that, whoever's running the merch, I definitely have more ownership of like what I create for them because I have the relationship with them. I helped design it. I helped figure out pricing, and it's definitely a much more rewarding feeling, rather than like something that you did when you were reaching out to somebody else the whole time and you don't really know what's going on.
Right, 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 for sure. Love that, by the way, and I'm sure that has really changed the experience for you in the last couple of months in the semester. And yeah, 850% growth, Raf. That's amazing. How did you achieve this? Like numbers wise, did you expand your clientele? Did you double down on your existing clients and you started upselling them? Walk me through the nitty gritty of the numbers. How have you been able to achieve that this semester?
Yes. So honestly, I did get very lucky in the sense of I'm in Delta Gamma at Villanova, and that is one of my own clients, and they're one of the most high. Like they spend the most money at Fresh Prince at Villanova, and the new merch chair this semester really wanted to kind of elevate our merch because last semester that live store that I had worked on with them, which was the first one that I had done, did not go through. Everything failed on it. So the girls at DG really wanted merch that they would like. They were ready to spend money. Like kind of like they're in a place now where the new members have come in and they didn't like the merch last semester, which is totally fine. Now we have a new merch chair, and she had some great ideas. And working with her, I have a great relationship with her. Always texting. She would text me sometimes at 8 in the morning. I'd get up and like open my laptop and like put in a revision request or do whatever she needed. But we made a really really cute set for them, which I think is gonna really change the image of Fresh Prince at Villanova, because Villanova is a very competitor heavy school. We're still like Fresh Prince is still trying to, I think, make a name for itself in there. And she made this
Mhm.
really cute like custom hoodie set, like all the works that you could imagine she had on it. And we managed to make it overseas for her to make it more affordable. And that really, I think, that set almost hit 10K, that live store. So that one order already like pushed me so far ahead. And then I also did an ROTC order, which ROTC had worked with us in the past for like smaller things, like just one or two like events that they had. And I met with their merch chair and got them to do a general merch drop with us. And that one was at 8K. So those two together like really pushed me forward. And it was just kind of finding double downing on DG because definitely they needed more attention because like the girls were like really,
Mhm.
they wanted the merch, but they just had nothing that they liked from last semester. And then also finding a new client of like ROTC to do the general merch instead of just the one or two orders with us. That really helped.
Yeah, and these are your two biggest orders
Mhm.
thus far, I imagine, in your tenure as a campus manager. How prepared were you to deal with these very large orders at the beginning of this semester?
I think it was definitely a learning curve, and I'm glad it worked out well because with the DG order, it was just a lot of emailing the art team and logistics and being like, can we make this overseas? And Olivia was so helpful for that order as well because she was like figuring out with her manager like what we could do for them to like keep the price, at somewhere in the middle that wasn't too expensive. And then with the ROTC order, it was just like making sure that things were exactly how they wanted them to be. So it was definitely again a lot of moving parts that I think I kind of I think I prepared myself well in the sense of I wouldn't let things kind of lag. If I saw something that needed to be done, I would just open my laptop and get it done right away just because I'm not the type of person I just want to get like things done as fast as possible. So that was definitely I think a skill that really helped me is just trying to fit Fresh Prince in um like if you had like 10 minutes during your day where you weren't in class and you got a text and something needed to be done, just like open your laptop and do it. It really does not take that long if you need to like get a quote for something or see if something's in stock. So just like fitting it into those little spots in your day instead of like sitting down for an hour and being like, okay, now I'm gonna do this. Like it was just easier for me to do it in increments.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk about that in training a lot. You know, I lead the training team, and we tell our, campus manager trainees that it is really about incorporating this workload that you have seamlessly into your day to day, right? It's not about like, oh, I'm going to make a time block 3 days from now to deal with it. It's like, no, you have it on your plate right now. You can deal with it right now, and your clients will be forever thankful about that. Instead of waiting around, keeping things moving, you won't be in a time crunch later on.
Mhm.
So it's about taking ownership over those things right away instead of waiting around. And a lot of success is found in not procrastinating all of this work as a campus
Mhm.
manager. But it is really easy to say. But as a college student, you have a million things going on, right? So if you really find the role to be enjoyable and you feel like you're growing in it, you will undoubtedly make the time that you need to make at the correct times that you need to make them in order to keep that operation going. So was that a big lesson for you as well in these two large orders that you had to deal with, where there's like a lot more intricacy to it and a lot more details that you need to pay attention to on a day-to-day basis?
I think it was definitely a good lesson to learn because I'm just the type of person where if I knew if I saved it to like after all my work was done until the end of the day, I would definitely forget about half the stuff that somebody had asked me to do and then have to worry about
Right.
that later on. So definitely a good lesson to just do it when you have the time throughout the day rather than like leaving it. I would have like a little list in my head of like, okay, so and so texted me to do this. This organization needs a quote or whatever, and just get that done. Like either right when I woke up before I got ready, would literally pull my laptop and pull it out and just like open Fresh Prints and like throw it, get it done, or I would just like do it after class. But waiting till the end of the day is just would just not have worked for me. So yeah, it was definitely a good lesson to learn.
Love that. How else have we got into that 850%? Do you have new clients? What are you working on currently?
Currently, I am trying to broaden my scope a little bit. DG is doing another drop, so hopefully that one is just as large as the last
Nice.
one, and I'm more prepared for it than I was last time. But I
Yeah.
am working now on kind of finding more clients and trying to recruit more people. Because again, I think Fresh Prince could do really well at Villanova, but they just haven't. They don't have the reputation yet to for people to know the name and be like, oh, I want to work with them. So yeah, I'm trying to get Fresh Prince a good reputation on campus.
Yeah, and we love that, and we appreciate that. Is that one of your main goals? Like as you look, forward in your role as a CM and what you want to accomplish, is to bring up the name of Fresh Prince on your campus?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I even with the DG drop that's coming, I already know that I'm gonna like be hearing from people like, "Oh, this isn't so and so. This is Fresh Prince." Like, because it's just something I've never seen freshmen do on campus yet. So I'm really happy that I was able to help make something that people will know Fresh Prince from, and
Yeah.
something positive.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
positive, obviously. um, and yeah, that's very exciting, honestly, because um, you can sort of combine that school pride that you have with your job and what you do as a campus manager. And I'm sure that's going to be immensely satisfying to look back and hopefully a couple of years from now and say, Fresh Prince is now the
Yeah.
leader in merge on campus, and that was a big part of that. Definitely something that will fill you with pride for hopefully the rest of your
Mhm.
life. But moving on now to, you didn't do this alone. You talked about Olivia, you talked a lot, you talked about the logistics
Mm.
team, the art team. Let's focus on Olivia first, your BDM, the person who is sort of like your big sister in your campus manager journey
Mhm.
at Fresh Prince. What do you remember about her early on? How did she push you specifically to do the things yourself? What kind of feedback was she giving you early on that really stuck with you?
I remember specifically a few months ago, it was definitely in first semester. She was like, I know you, like, I know the type of person you are. You just want to, like, do something for other people, but you're not, like, you need to push them more. You have to be, like, a little more demanding in what you need from them. And, like, stop kind of, like, sugarcoating it and being like, oh, get back to me when you get back to me. Be like, no, I need this on this day at
Mm,
this time. So that was definitely a big help for me because it kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone and made me get responses from people because that ultimately is what following up consistently, telling people when and what I needed from them definitely changed how I got responses and eventually led to like an order being placed. So that advice from her I think is one of the best pieces of advice I've gotten from anyone, and it ultimately really ended up helping me.
how long did it take for you to assimilate that and be like, okay, Olivia's right? Did it take a long time?
I think I think it was definitely a work in progress. It probably took like a few weeks maybe for me to kind of gauge myself like, oh, you should be following up with this person. It's been like a day or like 2 days. So definitely I had an acclimation period. But her kind of following up with me being like, oh, can you send me like a screen recording of these messages, and me sending them to her is kind of just like a, this is what either you want to see or where there's area of improvement, or it could be her telling me, okay, this is, you're following up the right amount of times, but this is how you should be phrasing something, instead of saying like, I need this ASAP, say I need this like by tomorrow at 5, like giving people like quantifiable deadlines.
Yeah. You were basically seeing her do what you were supposed to be doing when she was following up with you, right?
Exactly.
And seeing it firsthand, I'm sure that helped put examples around it. And yeah, so Olivia walked you through the initial tough first few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you started, to get the ball rolling, how have been your interactions and experiences with our internal teams, the art team, the logistics team? Walk me through specifically how close are you with them today, with this huge percentage increase that you've had in your sales,
Mm-hmm.
and how have it helped you get to this goal and to this milestone that you've hit this semester?
Yeah, they have been, all of them have been an immense help. I mean, everyone's there to, kind of push you and get you to the sale or the order being placed. But there was one time I remember I was emailing Carla at like literally 1 in the morning, and I like was G chatting her, and I was like, I was like, I know she's gonna hate me after this. I was like spamming her inbox, like, I need this in by like 5 p.m. today. Like, please, can you get this approval in? And then she would respond, and I would be like, oh, this is amazing. Like, she's on her laptop right now. So yeah, definitely a lot of help forms, a lot of emailing, either like logistics, Carla, any of them have been so incredible. And I'm like, they're gonna see my name and be like, oh my goodness, I'm ignoring that. She's just like blowing up my inbox right now. But they've all been so helpful, and yeah, and they get back to me like, sometimes you need to follow up. Obviously, they have a lot to do, but ultimately, I've learned so much from them just by asking questions and things like that. But they've helped me immensely with all of my orders.
Yeah, but you see the similarities there of you thinking that you will be annoying people and not reaching out to
Uh-huh,
them, right? And
exactly.
you're going back to those habits,
Hmm.
but seeing that people are willing to help you, and seeing the difference that it makes you
Hmm.
develop these really great working relationships with the people that you work with and with the people that you work for
Hmm.
is enormously important. So shout out to Carla out
Yes.
there from the art team. Aside from this, enormous goal that you hit this semester, you're also a full time student,
Mhm.
right? How many credits are you taking this semester at
This
Villanova?
semester I'm taking 18.
18, so full class
Hmm.
schedule. How did you balance school while scaling this hard as a campus
I
manager?
think definitely, like I said, I and this is just like the type of person I am, waking up and checking my phone and seeing like either checking my email and then checking text messages that I've gotten, and then kind of just immediately doing it before I get up and go to class. And literally before like I'm even thinking about like schoolwork, just like getting that out of the way because it takes less time than like doing an assignment. And then in my little breaks, like there's like 15 minutes turnaround in between classes, and checking my phone again, like kind of doing the same things and like seeing what I need. um and then before I would like finish, like after all my work is done for the day, I would check my phone again and be like, okay, what do I need from people like for this week, and kind of like do all my responses, and then go to my email, do all my responses there before I like went to bed or stopped doing work for the day. And yeah, it was a really good cycle because you kind of like wake up and you're like, oh, okay, everything I needed yesterday is already here, I can do that. And then you'd go to bed and be like, okay, this is what I need from you for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a lot to deal with, right? But you've been doing a good job of doing it this
Yeah.
semester. Where do you still see yourself, like you can become more organized and time manage better? Have you self reflected on any of that this
Yeah,
semester?
for sure. I think I still am definitely grasping like a schedule in my head of like when to reach out to people. I will sometimes like think like 2 or 3 days after I hear from someone, and I'm like, wait, I haven't heard from this person, and then like kind of go and follow up. So I want to kind of like tighten that down a little bit and make it like a turnaround of like 2 days max, or even every day. But again, it's like kind of the balance of like being a student and like things like that. But I just don't want anyone to fall through the cracks of like, either because they're a smaller client or it's something I'm not working on, like following up with them even though they haven't had an order or anything in is just as important.
For sure, for sure. Treat every order like it's your last one,
Yeah.
right? It's like I really need to get this in.
Hmm.
That's amazing, Raf. And look, this is a you have a really cool story from in terms of your growth from first semester to second semester. So we're definitely so appreciative of you stopping by and telling us, what prompted that and how you've been able to manage all of that. So congratulations on all that
Thank
success.
you.
You're still early on your campus
Hmm.
manager journey. You're junior. You still have a year and a half in school. What are you looking forward as we close out the episode? What are you looking forward to accomplishing in the next year and a half in your role as a campus manager now that you've seen all this growth?
Yeah, I definitely again want Fresh Prince to be like a name that people turn their heads at like on campus. Um and I do want more. I want to do more orders like the DG order that we just had because that one was just so like something I've never seen before from like Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
And I'd love to work with like other sororities on campus and like make a it was a sweat set and like do a set like that for them. And I think that'll definitely like make people like hear Fresh Prince and be like, "Oh, I know what that is. Like I have something from them."
Hmm.
So yeah, definitely just increasing brand recognition on campus.
Cool. Yeah, let's get every sorority out there
Yeah.
and good luck with all of that, Raf. Thank you so much. And I am personally looking forward to seeing the rest of your campus manager journey, and I'll be rooting for you from the sidelines. And then, yeah,
Thank
keep an eye on all of that with you. Um, Thank you for being here. And for you guys out there, we'll talk to you next time. Thanks for tuning in.